Somalia just did something that shocked Western powers and changed the game in the Horn of Africa. The country said no to hosting an Israeli military base on its soil, and that simple refusal is sending shockwaves through global power circles. This is not just about one base or one deal. This is about a country that has been treated like a playground for foreign interests, finally drawing a line and saying enough is enough. For years, Somalia has been portrayed as weak, fragile, and dependent, a place where decisions get made by outsiders, while locals just accept whatever comes. Foreign troops have been stationed there under various missions. International agreements have been signed over Somali territory without much input from ordinary Somalis. The country has been seen as the last open space in the region, where powerful nations could set up shop without serious pushback. That assumption just collapsed. The story started when reports emerged that Israel wanted to establish a military presence in Somaliland, a breakaway region that Somalia does not recognize as independent. The deal supposedly involved three parts. First, bringing displaced Palestinians to the area. Second, setting up an Israeli military base. Third, having Somaliland sign the Abraham Accords, the controversial agreements normalizing relations between Israel and some Arab states. In exchange, Israel would recognize Somaliland as an independent country, something the international community, including the African Union, has refused to do. Somalia's federal government immediately rejected the entire arrangement. Leaders made it clear that Somalia is one country under one constitution, and no region has the authority to make deals that compromise national sovereignty. More importantly, they stated bluntly that if Israeli forces tried to enter Somali territory, they would fight back. This was not diplomatic language. This was a direct warning. We will defend ourselves. We will not allow this to happen. The reasons behind Somalia's refusal go deeper than just one military deal. The country sits at one of the most strategic locations on Earth, right where the Red Sea meets the Indian Ocean. This area controls shipping routes that connect Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Whoever controls bases here can influence global trade, monitor rivals, and project military power across entire regions. For decades, foreign powers have used this geography to their advantage, setting up installations and calling them security partnerships. But Somalia's leaders are asking a question that changes everything. Why would Israel need a military base in Somalia? Bases are not tourist centers. They exist for military purposes, either to defend something or to attack something. There is nothing in Somalia that threatens Israel. So if the base is not for defense, it must be for offense. That means Somalia would become a launch pad for attacks on other countries, dragging Somalis into conflicts that have nothing to do with them. This realization matters because Somalia is a Muslim-majority country. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is not some distant issue that Somalis can ignore. It shapes public opinion across the entire Muslim world and throughout Africa. Accepting an Israeli military base would be seen by many Somalis as endorsing policies they fundamentally oppose. It would create massive internal backlash, undermine national unity, and give extremist groups powerful recruitment material. No government trying to rebuild legitimacy after years of civil war can afford that. Western governments were reportedly caught completely off guard by how firm Somalia stood. In the past, when Western powers wanted something from African countries, they offered aid packages, security assistance, or applied quiet diplomatic pressure, and deals got done. This time was different. Somali officials made it clear that no amount of external persuasion would change their position. They had drawn a red line, and they were not moving. This reflects something bigger happening across Africa. Countries are re-evaluating foreign military presences that were negotiated on terms written by outsiders. From West Africa to the Horn, governments are asking whether these bases actually improve security or just entrench foreign control. Somalia's decision fits perfectly into this continental awakening. African nations are realizing they have more power than they thought, and they are starting to use it. The timing makes the decision even more significant. The Red Sea region has become extremely militarized in recent years. Multiple countries are competing for influence through port deals, logistics hubs, and security partnerships. Every new base changes the strategic balance and increases the risk of conflict. By refusing to host this particular installation, Somalia reduced the chance of becoming a battlefield in someone else's war. That is not weakness. That is smart strategy. Somalia is also trying to rebalance its foreign policy. Instead of aligning too closely with any single power bloc, the country wants diversified partnerships focused on economic development, infrastructure investment, and trade. Military bases tied to controversial regional players would sabotage that strategy by alienating potential partners across Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Staying neutral, or at least non-aligned, gives Somalia more options and more leverage. For Western powers, this was more than just a setback. It revealed an uncomfortable truth. The old playbook does not work anymore. You cannot assume African compliance. You cannot treat sovereignty as something symbolic that disappears when convenient. Somalia proved that even a country emerging from decades of conflict can assert its strategic preferences when it decides to. And once one country does it successfully, others start thinking they can too. Regional neighbors watched everything closely. Somalia's choice gave other governments facing similar pressures a reference point. It showed that saying no is possible. It demonstrated that refusal does not automatically lead to isolation or punishment, especially when you have alternative partners willing to engage on better terms. This is the power of precedent. One country standing firm makes it easier for the next one. Inside Somalia, the decision resonated deeply with ordinary people. After decades of watching foreign troops operate on their soil while security got worse, after seeing international deals signed that never seemed to benefit locals, citizens wanted their government to show some backbone. When leaders drew a line on the military base issue, it rebuilt trust. It reminded people that the state could actually represent their interests instead of just implementing foreign agendas. That trust is more valuable for long-term stability than any foreign base could ever be. Western analysts warned about creating security vacuums, a phrase used for years to justify keeping troops in Africa. Somali officials rejected that framing entirely. They argued that sovereignty and stability get stronger when decisions are made domestically, not weaker. Yes, Somalia still faces security challenges, but the solution is building national institutions, training local forces, and improving intelligence capabilities, not outsourcing defense to foreign powers who pursue their own interests. Economic factors also played a role. Military bases might bring short-term money through leases and local jobs, but they often block bigger opportunities. Ports and coastal zones around foreign installations get restricted, limiting their potential for commercial development. Somalia wants to transform its coastline into a hub for trade, fishing, and logistics. That vision does not work if large sections are locked down as military zones controlled by foreign governments. The public conversation inside Somalia reinforced the government's position. Civil society groups, religious leaders, and community organizations all voiced concerns about getting pulled into external conflicts. Social media amplified these voices, creating political pressure that made accepting controversial foreign bases impossible. Unlike earlier periods when decisions happened behind closed doors, public opinion now shapes policy in visible ways. Somalia's refusal was not about rejecting international engagement. It was about defining the terms. The country remains open to partnerships, but they must respect national sensitivities and regional realities. Security cooperation continues, but through intelligence sharing and temporary training rather than permanent bases. Development assistance is welcome, but not if it comes with political strings that compromise sovereignty. What makes this moment historic is what it represents. For generations, Somalia has been described internationally as a place where things happen to people, not a place where people make things happen. By asserting a clear no, the country challenged that entire narrative. This was an act of agency that resonated far beyond the immediate issue. It showed the world that Somalia is becoming an actor in its own story, not just a stage for others. The long-term effects are still unfolding, but the immediate impact is clear. Any country seeking military access in the Horn of Africa now knows they are dealing with a Somalia that negotiates from principle, not desperation. That changes everything. It forces more balanced partnerships based on mutual respect rather than one-sided dependence. And it proves that even after conflict, even with ongoing challenges, a nation can reclaim control of its future. This is Africa redefining itself. This is sovereignty as action, not symbolism.